Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right. As you can see here, it says British Army deployed to handle anti-V propaganda and protests. Okay. And this is from ZeroHedge.com. Okay, so it says, today in Resistance is Futile news, the British Army's Information Warfare Unit is being deployed to deal with anti-V propaganda, heading into the rollout of the V. The Daily Mail reports. The unit was launched in 2010 and is a part of the Army's 77th Brigade, which often works with psychological operations or PSYOPs. It says, in fact, soldiers are already monitoring cyberspace for C-19 content, the report reveals. The move comes as a response to a growing number of both anti-lockdown and anti-V protests. You see? So as we've been telling you, your so-called freedom of speech, all right, has limitations on it. All right. It says the move comes as a response. I read that late last week, for example, more than 155 anti-lockdown protesters organized in central London, marching through Westminster and chanting "Shame on you" and "freedom." Others waved signs reading "All I want for Christmas is my freedom back." Ditch the face masks and stop controlling us. The country is implementing similar fines and restrictions for businesses as the U.S. government. And similarly, businesses are starting to take matters into their own hands and defying lockdown orders. And what is that? Pursuant to 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Okay. And it says, they shall not regard their kings nor their princes. Okay. So you best believe that, you know, other countries are going to follow suit. Okay. In what the UK is doing, you know, so that's why Trump had already set it out to where you're going to have the military in charge of Operation Warp Speed, because now they're going to start doing what they're doing in the UK with the counter, all right, disinformation, as they call it, or whatever the case may be, you know, where they send, you know, the army out. Now, in the title, it mentioned propaganda and protests. Okay, so that means that monitoring these social media sites as well as in-person gatherings that are basically going against the V. Okay, so how they're gonna put the pressure on people? Well, we're gonna have to see. It says in the U.S., many business owners are now clinging to the Constitution. In the UK, and so now, if the Constitution being that so-called safe haven for these people, what's going to happen? Eventually, that Constitution is going to be suspended, or it's just going to be done away with. All right. It says in the UK, because the so-called new era in which they're trying to usher in with their Great Reset, and it isn't going to give you loopholes for you to have so-called rights that you can come against them with. It says in the UK, many are using the Magna Carta as a defense, quoting an article that allowed barons to ignore unfair rules in the 13th century. Some in the country have said they will refuse the V and will do the same for their children, or for the children. Others have called it a mass sterilization program. Other Brits simply feel the government is wielding too much power, the Daily Mail notes. So how are they now going to go about doing this? They're going to start basically enlisting these or setting up these so-called celebrities, you know, and these people of influence, you know, to come and influence you in the negative way, you know, and to come and tell you, no, you know, don't listen to the conspiracy. So it's going to be a coalition of taking down videos and prohibiting people from speaking against it. All right. While at the same time pushing the narrative that it's OK, you know, to reduce the threat of them losing control of the narrative, because information is control nowadays. You know, what people hear and what they believe, what they've been exposed to, influences their thoughts and their actions. So it's hard to keep a lid or chains on the minds of these people when you have us out here telling them this, telling them that. As the scriptures say, the truth shall set you free. All right. So here it is. They're trying to bind your mind, bind it up, and then we keep coming and setting it free. Then the problem is, if we bind their minds, it's going to be undone by these guys. So what do? We got to get rid of these guys, and then we got to bind their minds. It says the Cabinet Office spokesman said late last week, as we edge closer to a V, we continue to work closely with social media companies and other organizations to anticipate and mitigate any emergent anti-V narratives and promote authoritative sources of information. If you're anticipating, all right, and mitigating any emerging anti-V narratives, you look at the history, you look at channels that have had histories of, posting anti-V narratives or information, and then you prohibit them from uploading videos because you're anticipating that if they've done it in the past, they're going to do it again. Now, very soon, okay, pursuant to Amos 8 and 11, as I'm going to get, very soon, no matter what we do, there's going to be no way for us to be able to put out this information. Because the second you put it out, it's going to be done if they allow you to put it up. All right. Now, at that point, regardless of what we say, regardless of how we title our videos, regardless of any of that, they're not going to allow us to push this word. And we're going to know that we're at the time of the famine of the word. We're not going to say that, oh, if I speak against the V, they're going to take down my video. So I'm going to start speaking for the V so they don't take down my video. See, then that's going off. We're not going to do that. OK, the truth that we speak is going to stay the same. But when it gets to the point where it's impossible to push out the truth that we speak, then we know that it's the will of the Lord. And it's time for us to close the books on that and move to the next phase of the Lord's plan. All right. So let's go real quick from there to, hey, man, and we're coming into the time when, you're going to need to step out on that faith, man. OK, the things that you're used to, the comforts that you're used to are going to be taken away. All right. You're going to see them start disappearing. And soon, you're going to be put in a lot of faith testing situations. Now, this is the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And how do you hear the words of the Lord? From us, but how? Mainly through social media, mainly through the internet, mainly through YouTube and certain other sites. Okay, but they're all interconnected. Once one platform sees another platform is doing something, that targeting a quote unquote specific threat, all these platforms are going to be subject to the same consequences if they don't deal with that same threat. So if Facebook sees YouTube doing it, Facebook's going to do it. If Daily Motion sees them doing it, they're going to do it, so that they can preserve their platform and so on and so forth. And ultimately, it's going to be the Lord's doing, so where people are not going to be able to hear the words of the Lord. He's going to shut it down. All right. Because he knows if he leaves it up, we still going to keep pushing, so he has to stop us. All right, from pushing this truth. Verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord and shall not find it. See, it's going to come a point and hey, it might feel a little odd in the beginning, because we're so used to doing videos. We're so used to going out there and pushing. It might feel a little odd, to not do it. But with the level and the way things are going to be moving in life, all right, in terms of prophecy, you're not going to have time to sit down and think about that. That's why it talks about the 5 wise virgins and the 5 foolish virgins. You're not going to have time to give them your oil. All right. That time of, all right, I got the time and the long suffering and the patience to teach you this so you can now understand it and all this. You're not going to have time for that. You might tell them 1 or 2 things in a rush, but what good is it really going to do them if they don't understand what you're talking about? All right. So, yeah, we're nearing that time as we keep bringing out these different articles. All right. The time of us doing this is very limited. All right. And the time of prophecy is at hand. OK, so, hey, stay in the spirit, stay on your watch, and closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.